In this tutorial, we're going to take a look at how to invoke methods from some other class. I think we've done that in a previous tutorial in the second chapter, but this time around we're going to deal with arguments in methods in some other class. So it's going to be a little bit complicated, but since this example one class is kind of getting cluttered, let's create a new file which I'm going to declare it as public class. Let's call this class my main class. So I'm gonna just save this my main class as my main class.java. Then I'm gonna declare the main method. So I'm gonna say public static void main string args. So assuming we have my main class and a main method, then assuming we have another class, let's say class example2, and assuming we have another class here, let's say class example3, we can declare methods in both classes and then invoke them in the main method. So let's declare a method. Let's say public static void. Let's call this method 2. So this is a method 2. Now method 2 is gonna take in an argument. Let's say int x. So we can simply say system.out.print line the value of method 2's arguments is, and that will be x. Alright, pretty straightforward. How about method example 3? We can declare another method in example 3. So I'm going to say public static void method 2. Here we can make method 2 to take in an argument and int x and a char c. Here we go. And then we can do the same thing that we did in method 2 over in example 2. We'll do the same thing here. The value of method, the first argument, let's say the first argument of method 2 is x, and the second argument of method 2 is c. You can as well make method 2 to return something. Let's make method 2 to return a float. So we can return let's say minus 90.123f. So I think that's pretty straightforward. We just have two methods here. However, I know a lot of you are getting confused right now, like we have method 2 here and we have method 2 here. Is that not going to be a conflict? Nope, it's not going to be a conflict, because method 2 is a method that is declared in example 3, and method 2 is another method that is declared in example 2. Those two methods do not see each other because they are both separate in different classes. Okay, so it's kind of like two guys having the same name but having different fathers, and that means they have different surnames, so we can easily identify them. So how do we identify them? Of course, we've done this before. We can simply invoke example 2 dot method 2 and then pass in integer here. Let's pass in 6 and we can also invoke example 3, example 3 dot method 2, and we can pass in a value, let's say 3, and a character. This requires an int, and this one requires a char, so we can pass in a character, let's say z. Okay, so that's a character. Alright, so that's it with my main class. Let's compile that. So I'm gonna clear the script, and I'm gonna javac my main class, the java, and it compiled. So let's run it, and you can see the value of method 2's argument is 6. The first argument of method 2 is 3. The second argument of method 2 is z, and these two last statements are coming from method 2 inside example 3, whereas the first statement was coming, which is the value of method 2's argument is 6, is coming from method 2 inside example 2. So you can see example 2 has a method called method 2. Example 3 also has a method called method 2. But there are no problems so long as we use the class name to invoke the method and we pass in the appropriate arguments. Of course, we can also retrieve a value from method 2 as we usually do. Method 2 is going to return a float, so we can simply declare a float. Let's call float f to be equal to the value of example 3, and then we can spit it out, system.out that's print line the value of f is f. So let's compile this and run it again. Here we go. Oops, I didn't compile. Here we go. That's compilation. Then we run it. You can see the value of f is minus 90.123 because method 2 is returning that value, and that's it. So that's how we can, declare methods from external classes outside our main class. When I say main class, the class that has the main method, and then we can invoke those methods from other classes. Okay, so that's it for this video. I hope you found this informative, and thanks for viewing.